Hello beautiful people, and welcome to your special portal edition video. I missed the 11/11 portal because I was getting married on that day. That was day of my sacred union ceremony with my beloved, and I promised to myself also that I am going to record video for this 11/22/33 because it is the November 22nd, which adds up to 33, and being in a year number 9, whatever is the number that adds up with the day and the month is actually the final number, because 9 always makes a number the same number. So in any case, it will be the day number 6 if you want to simplify it to single digit, which is all about harmony, balance, and that's technically what we're creating, especially now in these after effects of this new moon in Scorpio we just experienced a few days ago. And this was all about seeding of the energy of the self-empowerment, especially with the Grand Water Trine helping us to connect with our intuition. Actually, I'm pre-recording this on Friday because we are moving tomorrow, and today as I'm recording this, Sun is making the exact opposition to Uranus. We know that the Uranus was opposing this new moon in Scorpio, and also Sun is making a trine to Neptune, because Sun will be moving into Sagittarius later on tonight, for me anyway, here in Mexico. For you guys in Europe and further away, it will be already Saturday morning, but in any case, by the time this video is released, Sun will be in a sign of Sagittarius, which is the final mutable season of this year, is the final square to Pisces, closing square, which is the crisis in consciousness. What are we releasing? And we know that this new moon, alongside with the few before and quite a few after this new moon, is happening on 28 degrees, which is up to number 10, which is the year we head into for next month. And that's all about this reset, the Wheel of Fortune in Major Arcana, and the 0 and the 1, which is the Fool and the Magician. So we have the opportunity to create this new experience. And now with still a lot of planets retrograde, I mean Mercury and Saturn will be stationed in direct next week. Jupiter will be retrograde until March 10th, so we have still a while to go. Also Uranus will be retrograde until next year. Chiron, I believe, stations direct on the 1st or 2nd of January. So we have still quite a few planets retrograde, which creates this acceleration from inside out. And I feel that this portal, this November 22nd in the year number 9, so the 33, the day 33, which adds up to number 6, it offers an opportunity for this balancing of all these energies. There's been a lot of muck coming out throughout this Scorpio season. I can only speak for myself, but definitely this has not been an easy Scorpio season, just as any season this year has not been easy. In this year number 9, which is all about culminations, endings. Also the number 9 is associated with Mars, and Mars doesn't play around, right? Mars just goes for it. And now Mars, obviously being in a sign of Sagittarius, fiery Sagittarius, it wants us to expand, because of course Jupiter is in Cancer, as I already mentioned many times. Every lunation is connected to Jupiter at the moment because it's ruled by the moon, and Jupiter is retrograde, so it's creating this acceleration on the inner landscape, because any retrograde planets always offers an opportunity for acceleration from inside out, and that's technically how any manifestation takes place. But before I go any further with this video and pull some cards and just weave whatever energies wants to come through, I would like to mention that as of today, when you're watching this, potentially on Saturday the 22nd, I am running my Black Friday sale. This is potentially the final sale for 2025 for me. I haven't decided whether there will be another one for Christmas, but in any case, if I do run one for Christmas, the discount rate will not be as high as this one. So in honor of the 22/11, which adds up to 33, I am running at 33% of all my services. So if you would like to book any reading with me, then this is your opportunity to get a bargain technically, and the sale will be running until December 1st, which is a Cyber Monday. So it will end on midnight Pacific time on Monday the 1st of December. So that out of the way, now let's go back to these energies. So as I mentioned, with the 11, 22, and 33, these are all master number frequencies. 11, obviously, is all the angelic frequencies. 22nd is the master builder, right? The 11 is associated with Archangel Metatron, 22 with Archangel Sandalphon, so it's connecting us to the heaven and the earth, because obviously we are here on earth, so we are earthlings at the moment, but I don't know if any of us came from here. We are all cosmic beings, so we are connected, you know, through this vessel of our physical body. We are connected. We are connected to both. We are connected to this physical reality, but also we are still spirit, having an experience, right? And the number 33, which is the heart consciousness, the Christ consciousness, it's connected to this Aquarian age, because in opposition with Aquarius, it's Leo, and Leo is the heart-centered consciousness, the innocence of the child, the purity of the child, as we know from the death card, right? The number 13, which is the representation of the Scorpio season that we are just coming out of now. This is all about the complete process of rebirth, letting go of the past versions of ourselves. And this is once again what Jupiter is helping us to do throughout this entire transit through the sign of Cancer. It's helping us to go beyond the old labels, go beyond the limitations of the ego mind that say that this is who I am and this is all I am, right? And also, as we know, Jupiter is connected to the North Node because it's a traditional rule of Pisces, and we know that Venus is still in trine with the North Node, and we have Mars coming into the squares with the lunar nodes. The resolution will be the South Node in the sign of Virgo, so this is all about adjustment. So there is a lot of astrology going on at the moment, and most and foremost, stepping into Sagittarius season is offering an opportunity for change, because it's a mutable sign, so it's saying, well, nothing is quite set in a stone, and especially now coming out of this new moon energy, things have been seeded. The moon is still, you know, technically doesn't have much light, so there is an opportunity to create, not create as a manifest, but to see the intentions, and once again with this very powerful portal, the 1122 adding up to 33 with the number 6, right, which is the number associated with Venus. Venus technically is still in the sign of Scorpio, I believe, so we would say that Venus is in detriment, but actually Venus in Scorpio, it's a tough cookie, right? Because it's like it's making us to connect with our shadow and allow it to make us feel more empowered rather than disempowered, right? It's like the Lilith energy for me, in my, you know, way of understanding anyway. So anyway, guys, I would like to pull some cards and see where we go with that. But as I said, in essence, this is a great opportunity, especially as it is on Saturday, which is a Saturn day. And Saturn, of course, it's back in the sign of Pisces. Actually, tomorrow on the 22nd, Mercury retrograde is having second trine with Saturn, still retrograde currently. And Saturn being back in the sign of Pisces, this is the final stretch of Saturn in Pisces until February 14th, 2026, where we do have the opportunity to release ourselves from these contracts of the past, from this sense of, in a sense, many of us took on responsibility for things that are not necessarily our responsibility, but because of the cultural upbringing and the program of the system that we are surrounded by, we are being made to believe that, oh, well, this is up to me, you know, this is up to me to change this person, the circumstance. But there are actually a lot of things, many more things that are out of our control, that are in our control. So again, it's important to redefine what is actually my responsibility, because in many cases, many of us are hiding behind, like we rather take on other people's problems than face our own. But our own problems will come around over and over again, or issues or things that are unresolved, because we cannot really change another person or learn lessons for someone else. We can only learn our own, right, for ourselves, and then we can motivate, or by shining our light, we can inspire other people to then, you know, learn or do whatever they need to do in their experience, you know, because we are all here on a multiple missions, right? We are all on our personal mission as a soul, wanting to expand, wanting to grow, but at the same time, we are here for one another, we are here for the collective, we are here for the universe, multiverse, right? Everything is connected at all times. So once again, with this 1122, 33, the master number frequencies, connecting the heaven and the earth, right? With the 11, again, Archangel Metaphron, the 22nd, the Archangel Sandalphon, connecting the heaven and the earth, the spirit incarnate in the physical form. And as I mentioned, Mars squaring the lunar nodes, now pointing to the South Node in Virgo, and that will be the case for every planet transiting through the sign of Sagittarius, will be squaring the lunar nodes, becoming the skip step, but pointing to the South Node as a resolution node, unlike the Gemini season where everybody was pointing to the North Node in Pisces. So now it's all about, okay, how are we making changes, right? Because we're coming towards the end of this year number 9, this year of culminations, and we are just about about to step into the year number 10, the 0 and the 1, and with the planets then moving into the new signs, which we got the flavor of temporarily this year, you know, with the Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, and then we also have Chiron moving into the sign of Taurus next year before the summertime, and the nodes shifting into Aquarius and Leo. These are some very potent shifts that will be happening in 1 year, which is the year number 10, the 0 and the 1 once again. So with this portal we are experiencing, this is a great opportunity on the day of Saturn, the day of the structure, the in a sense of safety and security, but it has to come from inside out, because for as long as we externalize our power to the external authority, to someone outside of us, we will never feel empowered, right? And that's why we also had this groundwater trine present during this new moon in Scorpio birthing a new sense of self-empowerment, right? This groundwater trine, which is saying that the only way we will feel empowered is actually when we learn to master our emotions, and not just like master them in a sense of like, okay, this dysregulating or something, like learning to regulate ourselves, but actually learning to understand what are they for, what are they serving, what is actually their role, the emotions, because they are messengers, and also they are our messengers with regards to what's going on, like, you know, like giving us messages about, okay, what's going on in my environment, you know, like, is this in resonance, is this in alignment, is this the right thing for me or not, but also bringing us the guidance, which is the best guidance system to rely on in the upcoming times. So okay, with that all said, let's just see. I don't know whether my booklet's actually closed because I was checking the astrology, but yeah, I definitely want to pull a card. Start with the White Light Oracle from Alana Fairchild, which is the one that I quite often use for the portal work, if not every time. And yeah, there are long descriptions. I'm gonna try not to read all of it, but definitely need a booklet for that one, because the cards in themselves that don't really give crazy amount of information, but it is a beautiful deck and they have beautiful messages. So I would like to invite the White Light Oracle with the message from the cards with regards to this November 22nd, the 11/22/33 portal. So let's see what message wants to come through for this beautiful day. Okay, we have a card, the Theta of Venus, the number 25, which is up to number 7, which is interesting because number 7, of course, is the number of Neptune. This is all about the transcendence. It's about the reconnection with the unity consciousness, right, with the oneness, but not in the way that is disempowering or sacrifice through the Piscean age archetype, but this is through your individuation process, through your own unique fool's journey, which is unique to you, you know, and you're the only one who knows what it is, and you might not even know, but there is something within you that knows. So yeah, and it's Theta of Venus, which is connecting us with the Taurus and the Libra, so your relationship towards yourself, our relationship to one another. Venus is still in the sign of Scorpio, so this is all about reconnecting to the totality of who you are, the totality of who you are, breaking out of the patterns that are connected to us, fragmenting and disowning ourselves, aspects of ourselves, because if we can't accept the totality of who we are, we cannot accept the other, and we will keep attracting people that will remind us of these aspects of ourselves that we rejected. So Theta of Venus, Theta of course is the state in which we connect, right? Theta, I believe, is the dream state, right? So it's the state where we connect with the essence of who we are. Venus, it's all about our relationship to ourselves, to another, but we are here to relate to this reality, right? Relating, it's actually how we experience in this reality through relational dynamics. So we'll see what this card wants to say. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Oracle of Chaldea 37, which is the number 10. Number 10. So that's the year we're stepping into. I actually never pulled this card before. So let's see what these two have to say. Two ladies. One has her eyes closed and one has her eyes open. So yeah, it will be interesting to hear. All right. So Theta of Venus, number 25. Number 7. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go. Attune yourself to higher consciousness by choosing to access the purest frequencies of love within. Acknowledge lower frequencies such as judgment, fear, doubt, or shame when they arise within or around you, but do not give them a foothold in your heart. You are ready for higher understanding, to see things in a new and more positive light. Allow your inner knowing to guide you on a unique, beautiful, and highly spiritual life path. And then there is about Venus. Morning and evening star, stellar goddess. She's a way shower of light and fifth dimensional reality, also known as unity consciousness. Her spiritual guardianship of humanity will be complete when our mass consciousness is based on love, light, and divine feminine wisdom, which is the trust and surrender, right? The not doing, but the being guided from within. When you connect with Venusian energies, an opportunity for increased love, magnetism, and spiritual charisma, a chance to shine your light and manifest your soul purpose with increased grace, synchronicity, and sacred artistry. Her appearance in a reading signifies a time of creative and spiritual awakening. It is a reminder of the power of the heart and our ability to rise again after a time of karmic heaviness. Okay, and then there is more about Venus. So that I feel is also connected to this 33 frequency, the connection to the heart, the universal love, the unconditional love. And it's interesting because there was an experience during my last shamanic journey, which I will share when Aaron is ready to record and share our experience of that process. But that's technically what it was, that we experienced the blueprint of the upcoming times, which is through love and connection and beauty. And actually it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be the suffering. And anyway, I don't want to go much into details, but yeah, there was a jarring difference between how people were processing the current energies, in the Piscean age, and how we were embodying the new energies, how we can move from the current model into a different model. And it is through this love and connection, not necessarily just romantic love between lovers, but open-hearted consciousness, like opening heart and the mind. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that with the Venus. But yeah, Venus, because if we are not connected to ourselves and don't accept, again, going back to the same thing, if we cannot accept the totality of who we are without judgment, right? Like we can observe, it doesn't have to like all of it, right? But we have to understand that this role that we play and the emotions, in many cases, they're not yours, right? They're not yours. We are just like a conduit. We are like a receiver and a transmitter of energies. This body and us animating this body, it's offering the opportunity for these old energies to be embodied and played out again, and for that pattern to change, right? For this energy to become something new. So these old things are coming around, and I already talked about it in this last video that I released. These old energies, they are coming around again and again because they need to be transmuted, right? Like they're not just going to disappear on their own. And now we are not going, because they're still present with us hundreds, thousands of years later, because the way we reacted or responded to these things that we don't like, they are still present, right? They change the form, right? They look a little bit different now that they did 100 or 500 or 1,000 years ago, but the energy, the emotion is still the same. So that's why we are learning, okay, this is not in alignment. We don't like feeling this way. So how can we respond in a different way that creates a different outcome, that creates a different response, right? So that's what we're learning. But it starts from oneself, because if we are in rejection of ourselves, like the self-hate, if we cannot accept who we are, that is the foundation, that is the Taurus. So then we cannot accept anybody else, right? We cannot accept anybody else. We can only compassionate with another to the level we can compassionate with ourselves. We will judge another to the level we judge ourselves, right? So yeah, the Theta of Venus. Let's see if there is anything about the Theta thing. Yeah, the theta is narrow range between 7 and 8 hertz, which we access during deeper meditation and light sleep. Exactly. The brain enters this state during the in-between times, such when we are falling asleep or waking up from deep sleep. These are moments in which our capacity to create our consciousness is heightened. At these times, we become aware of deep-seated programming and are able to heal from refraining it. Okay. So yeah, this is why meditation is such an important practice for everyone to develop, however that shows up in your life or however that resonates with you. All right, let's go to the 37, the Oracle of Chaldea. 37, the number 10. All right, here we go. Oracle of Chaldea, continue on your healing journey with enthusiasm but without forcing things to happen more quickly than feels natural. Sometimes the body will be ready to let go whilst mind is still holding on. At other times the mind may need to be patient and the body process an experience. As the body processes an experience, trust in your own timing and rhythm. There is no need to be impatient or to judge yourself. You are summoning the spiritual fortitude to tackle an issue which has previously held you back. When the time is right, the healing shall happen more easily than if you try to push forward prematurely. Things are going to work out. Be positive. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, I feel that again, can only talk from my own experience where we feel like, oh my God, why am I still in this situation? Why this is still happening? Why I'm still re-experiencing these things, right? And we might feel like frustrated or impatient. I know that's that's definitely an experience for many people in my environment, people I care about, where they feel frustrated that, oh my God, I've been in this process for like so many years and why is this still happening? But we were ready when we're ready. Like, as I was saying yesterday, to someone, I said like, well, yeah, from your perspective, decade is like a long time, right? But from a soul perspective, like the whole lifetime is a blink of an eye, it's like what it is, with regards to infinity, but then again, we are having a human experience and we're not trying to trivialize it and say like, well, who cares, like lifetime doesn't mean anything, right? Because we don't want to get into that desensitized state, right? Well, human life has no value because we just came here to play a role, right? So there has to be a balance, and that is the number 33. When you simplify it to number 6, everything has to be in balance. The universe always tries to balance itself, just like this new moon in Scorpio and happening this opposition with Uranus, right? Even though the exact opposition is actually happening today as I'm recording this on Friday the 21st, right? And again, 21, 21 is the world card, right? In a tarot, which is all about completion, the ending. The sun is on 29 degrees, the analytic degrees, culmination, endings. Like we as a humanity cannot go on the way we've been living on this planet. It is no sustainable, like materially, but it's also not sustainable emotionally, because with all these energies coming through, and the opportunities for upgrade, we are literally going to burn our sockets, right? Our nervous system. So that's why I feel this card is saying that everything in perfect timing, right? Like I can just say again from personal experience, yesterday there was a situation where there were things that we needed to happen and we were forcing them to happen because of deadlines and stuff. There was a payment that had to be made for our deposit, right? And it just nothing was working. The Wi-Fi wasn't working, this wasn't working, phone wasn't working, the cards weren't working, nothing was working, literally nothing was working. So all you could really do was just sit down and wait. Just wait for that energy to just reset itself. Sometimes you just have to wait because it's not the right time, and it's very frustrating for us and for our ego, when we feel like, oh, I have a control, I can force things, maybe if I'm faster or smarter or whatever. There is no such a thing. There is just a perfect timing. And I still remember before I started studying evolutionary astrology with Simon Wurster, my former evolutionary astrology teacher from Raising Vibration, I remember that one video I watched, I don't know what was the video about exactly now, what transits, but when he said that you are never early or late, like you awaken exactly when it's your time. And that really spoke to me very deeply, because at the time I was going through my own things and I felt harsh on myself. I was harsh on myself. I felt like, oh my God, what I've been doing all my life, like look at me, I don't know anything, look at all these people, they know everything. And just judging oneself, like, oh, I'm so behind, or whatever, it's a constant comparison, right? We're constantly comparing ourselves because that's what we were being programmed to do. Always comparing with someone else against something else, right? The polarity. But yeah, in the spiritual world, there is no comparison. You know, you are a unique expression of the source, and at the end of the day, we all came from the same place. We all returned from the same place. But everybody's experience matters, because, you know, especially as many people saying, including Lee Harris, one of the people I really, you know, hold in a high regards. Everybody's needed, all cards on the deck at this time, and everything is up for grabbing, right? So we're just figuring out, like, what is this Aquarian age? What is this frequency? So we know it starts from within, right? And the conscious reprogramming by connecting to yourself, becoming aware of your own patterns, and those that don't serve, let them go, and everything in divine timing, you know. Things will change before we know them, because we are entering into Sagittarius season, and Sagittarius season has a lot of momentum, right? It's a mutable energy and it's a fire. So things are definitely going to change, especially as Mercury is stationed in direct next week. All right, let's do Oracle of Portals. Let's see what the portals want to say. Okay, Oracle of Portals, message for 22/11. Okay, we have 2 cards. Let's see. Oh, wow. There's the cover, the girl from the back of the cards. So this is a sunrise, and it's at number 6. Wow, this jumpy one, number 6. The sun will always rise, you know. We're coming into our own power. We are recognizing who we really are, the authentic expression. And on the water realm, again, 25, which is again number 7. Very much like this one, the theta, right? We need to connect with our unconscious, the unconscious, to really understand. Look, there is like the inner sun and outer sun, right? Like the inner earth and the outer world. There is a whole world inside of us that we are unaware of, because we are constantly in reaction or response to the outer reality that always wants our attention. You know, it wants to feed on it. It needs our energy. It needs our light to exist, right? If the reality outside of you is not observed, it doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist. It only exists because you are observing it, because you give it a life, right? So I feel it's like many of us are coming into realization that actually we are becoming aware of who we really are. It's like a sunrise, like when the sun is rising and there is a whole new day ahead of us, and we are becoming aware that, oh my God, the world is actually beautiful, and I have a whole day ahead of me to create and make it whatever I want, right? But in order to understand what it is that we came here to create, what it is that we came here to become, what it is that we came here to be, we need to connect with the inner world, the number 25, the number 7, right? The Neptunian frequency, and the number 6 continuation. And at the bottom, let's see what's at the bottom. Yeah, the underworld. We're coming out of Scorpio season. We'll be processing, you know, for the next 2 weeks until what we'll have. We'll have the full moon in Gemini, right? Full moon in Gemini, and then we'll be new moon in Sagittarius will be again 28 degrees. So full moon in Gemini, yes. So we'll have next 2 weeks to process, right? What actually happened in this Scorpio season, what's going on here, right? Okay, we have celestial realm. Isn't that interesting? We have number 6, number 25, which is a 7, and then we have number 26, which is number 8, right? Celestial realm. Yeah, connect with the angelics, right? The infinity. 26 adds up to number 8, the infinity, the continuous reincarnation, right? Like we all mean everything. So we connect with the inner and the outer world to realize you are much more powerful than you are. Like this being rebirth, this is to me like a sun card. Being rebirth, you know, coming out of this Scorpio season, the arc of this shadow, we are coming to light, the Sagittarius season, right? Ruled by Jupiter, retrograde in Cancer, in exaltation, in the after effects of this Scorpio new moon that happened in opposition with Uranus, ruled by Pluto. That was the ruler, you know, the modern ruler of this moon. Also with, you know, Mars being there in the sign of Sagittarius, trining Chiron. So there are all these energies that are supporting us in this wake up from this story, you know, about what you were being told about who you were. Like it's literally everything you were being told about yourself, or most of the things, are not even true. They are just somebody else's perception, it's somebody else's story that they heard, and they just passed it on. So it's an opportunity to come out from the depths towards the light, coming out of the shadow into the light, but be familiar with it, you know, like when we become conscious of the unconscious, it can no longer play havoc with our life, you know. We start creating things consciously rather than unconsciously. This is just such an interesting card. Look at that. Back and forth, same image, right? The sunrise. The sun will always shine, you know. There is always another day to create something new. So what are we creating? By connecting with ourselves, with the foundation, but being patient. Everything in divine timing, right? All right, let's see what the Mother Earth want to say. This is the Whispers of the Nature, one of my favorite decks because it's very fairy tale, right? So let's see, and look at all these butterflies, I love it. So Mother Nature, what are the Whispers of the Nature, right? We had these whispers from the portals, right? From the other dimensions, like things are happening, things are moving forward. The 6, 7, 8, you know, there is a momentum, there is a continuation, right? And yeah, number 10 over here, another 7. Okay, let's see what else come through with the Whispers of Nature. Whispers of Nature for the 22nd of November, 11/22/33. What is the message? Ideal course of action. Wow, look at that card, very interesting. Again, looking into the light. Yeah, we have all these flamingos there and a bear, and there is like a boat. There is a boat over here. Yeah, dandelion, wishing on a star. There is a lion, right? The strength, the lion. And also we have the lotus, the 1,000-petal lotus. Yeah, also there is like a, well, it's not the lizard. What is it? The iguana? Iguana on her head. So there are a lot of animals that we're forcing towards, like we are looking towards this kingdom. Everything is in the water. So we are moving, you know, with the water, we are moving through all these emotions, you know, with the bear coming out of hibernation, we are waking up, you know, we are awakening, you know, to the strength, to the power, you know, looking towards the horizon of the kingdom on earth, right? There are all these people, you know, all these people you can say are these ancestors, you know, yeah, they're ahead of you, they are behind you, they were ahead of you, they were here before, but they are also behind you, you know, not in manifested form anymore. They are behind you to give you the strength to create the reality that you wishing on the star, wishing on dandelion, like you blow, you know, the dandelion. What do you want the reality to become, right? I'm not quite familiar with the flamingo. Oh my God, it's another 37. Look at that, another 37. So this to me is very manifestation card. Manifestation card. What do you want to create? You know? And also it's interesting because I just had an accident, got hit by a ceiling fan into my head, and you know, like if it was literally a centimeter lower, it would have chopped off my ear. And it's interesting that she has that left ear, you know, the left ear, and that's what I said to Aaron. I said to, like, yeah, as universe saying, you have to listen to from the inside, you know, the left, the feminine, you know, the receptive side. What is your high priestess whispering into your ear, right? The inner guidance. The inner guidance will guide you, you know, your ancestors are guiding you, you know, those that were before you, ahead of you, you know, to that kingdom you want to create a heaven on earth. Yeah, through the process of awakening. But we know the lotus grows from the muck, and we're coming from the mucky season of Scorpio, you know. It's just the way it is, you know. Things, most people didn't become awakened or enlightened, just waking up and like, oh yeah, jolly good. Oh, and here is acceptance of love, beautiful. And this is 38, number 11, perfect. But this to me is like 33, you know. Connecting, also to me, this is like connecting with the lived life, you know, like finding things to love about this world, about this life, you know, because especially now at this time with everything that's going on everywhere, it's so easy to hate, it's so easy to despair, it's so easy to be in sorrow and grief about what's going on in the world. But as from my own personal experience of the past few weeks, having all these issues with different Airbnbs and trying to find a home and everything else that's been going on, it's so easy to just like focus on the negative and complain, right? Being in Mexico 3 weeks and I'm like, oh my God, haven't even enjoyed it yet, just being a constant stress, right? What is there to love about life, you know, like nature, right? Nature is it offers the consistency, right? The sun will always rise, you know, like, yeah, okay, we don't see it everywhere, every day, everywhere, right? Like here in Mexico, very fortunate, but you know, in some countries now you don't see very much sun being coming into winter season, you know, the end of the fall. But yeah, to me, it's like being earthed in this reality, like you are in a physical body and all of us, you know, obviously, if you're still here breathing, then you're not done, you know, you still have things to do. You came here for a purpose, you know, your energy is needed. Whatever is your natural blueprint that makes you who you are, your soul signature is needed on this planet, right? So it's like fall in love with existence, you know, and like, yeah, with one another, you know, this is like, elementals, right? You know, like a nature being. And yeah, like, yeah, obviously, you know, like because of my personal experience, but love is the answer, you know, like we all came from love, we return to love, you know, like, yeah, you can have 100 million excuses in your head why, you know, this is right or this is wrong or whatever, but at the end of the day, everything in this physical reality is temporary, everything, right? So why not focus on the things we can enjoy being here rather than focusing on the things that we don't enjoy, right? And this is something that, you know, I am trying to put into practice every day being here after going through all the challenges we've been going through in the past, you know, God knows how long, but, you know, since we arrived too. And again, we have the continuum, right? 37 and 38, it's just so interesting, right? Again, the 10 and the 11. Connect. Also all the green, connect with your heart, with the foundation, you know, the love towards yourself, the love towards another, the Venus, Taurus, Libra, to create, you know, we're coming out of hibernation, connecting with our emotion, visioning, dreaming, you know, the boat in the water, you know, like taking you into this, like a Neptune land, right? Like a Neptune land, like a vision board, like a dream world, right? We have the Theta, right? The Theta of Venus, in that before sleep, before waking up, meditation state where you can really vision the world that you want to experience. What is there to love about this world? There is a lot to hate, right? But there is a lot to love too. So yeah, going through that process of freeing ourselves from continuously just focusing on the things that don't give us a joy, don't give us a sense of, empowerment, sense of satisfaction. But there is always, like, even like I said yesterday, going through that situation where there was nothing to do, you know, you just had to sit. But the sun was still shining, the birds were still chirping, you know, we were still in a better position than many other people. So there's always something that can be loved about this world. All right, let's see. What else? This is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, I think, from Lucy Cavendish. Never can remember the title of this deck, but it's a beautiful one. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's the Oracle of the Hidden Worlds, right? Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. What does the Hidden World want to say, connecting with the Mother Earth? All right, the Isle of Wonders, Revelation, Teaching, Discovery. That is another one that looks like a dream world, and look at all the waterfall around it. This is like a very Lemurian deck, and yeah, it's number 4, which is again connected to Saturn. Once again, tomorrow, the day of the 11/22/33 is the Saturn day, Saturn day, number 4, creating a new structure, new reality. Here we can see the moon, right? Moon, just a sliver. We know that when the moon enters, where is moon now? Moon is already in a Sag, Scorpio. So yeah, when a moon will enter into Sag, after the Capricorn, we'll have the first crescent. So there will be the Taurian crescent, so that's foundation. And the 4 birds, the structure, the 4 different direction, the 4 elements, even though we have 5. What do we want to create? This all, to me, all these cards are very Neptunian, like very like a different reality, different world. What is at the bottom? Oh, here is Mother Nature. Funny. Spirit of Spring, 34. Again, number 7. Another Neptune card. Freedom, action, power. 34. Before we had 25. Free yourself. You know, this card really reminds me of this one. Different deck, but look at that. Different artists too. Very similar. Set yourself free, right? And this also, it's like a springtime, isn't it? Green with the flowers in her hair. So what it is, yeah, and as I mentioned in my previous video for the new moon in Scorpio, this is the final square, right? This is the final mutable season for this calendar year, but we of course will have the Pisces season, is the final mutable season of the astrological year, and then we'll have the springtime, you know, Aries season ushering us into new astrological year, and he's talking about the springtime. And we know that Saturn, Neptune are moving, well, Neptune in January, Saturn in February, Uranus is moving in April, right? April 26th on my birthday, which is springtime. So this is when the free planets that we experience the flavor of these new energies, these big planets in the new signs, what it felt like, right, in this year 2025. This is where they're going to be back in the same, you know, these new signs, right, by end of April next year. There's a springtime, you know, the nature reawakening, the bird, setting yourself free. The number 34, number 7, again the Neptune, vision, all the water. How does it feel? You know, I listened to one channel from Lee Harris this morning doing my workout, doing my yoga, and I always pick the one that is perfectly relevant to what is my experience at the present moment. And this was about your authentic power, right? You can find it on his portal if you are a member in the classic library, and it's a channel from 2015. And technically, Lee was just saying about, it wasn't a channel, it was actually him sharing his experience. And he was saying about, you know, how if you don't live your authentic expression, you know, like, this is not exactly what he said, it's just like I'm telling you what I'm getting out of it. Like your fire, you feel like I have no fire, you know, like my fire is gone, my fire is dead, I don't know what I'm doing here, no passion, no desire, you know, like the life just becomes bleak and dead, you know. It's just like being in that underworld, right, being in that underwater place. Where is this card? Oh gosh, there are a lot of cards now. Oh wow, there is actually a card of underworld I'm just looking at. Yeah, it's this one. But yeah, I just saw a card of underworld. Isn't that interesting? Oh gosh, sorry, I have cards all over the place over here. Yeah, the underworld. But yeah, underwater realm, and here is the underworld. All right. So yeah, so he was saying that, you know, you need to every day ask yourself, like, what am I desiring to do today? And okay, there might be things that you can't do, you know, that are out of your control, but what is the little thing, you know, you can do that brings you closer? Like, you know, like if there is something big that you want, like he mentioned, you know, like, oh, I want to go on vacation or something. Like, okay, why do you want to go on vacation? Maybe you're stressed out, maybe you don't have time, you know, maybe you desire sunshine, maybe you desire some warmth, whatever it is, and what it is that in your, you know, everyday reality you can do right now, you know, like he recommended like a hot bubble bath or walk in the nature, you know, with the sun shining, you know, if there is one. So something like that, you know. So I'm just sharing obviously what I heard from him. This is not my idea or something, but to me that's very similar to this, you know, this and this. Like, okay, there are things that we want and we might think like, oh, this is impossible, you know, I can't have it right now, I don't know, I don't have the money, you know, I'm tied up by responsibility or what it is. But you know, there always is something that we can do to bring us closer to this feeling, right? Like the waterfall, the feeling, how it would feel, you know, how it would feel to be in that situation. So that's what I mean, like yesterday when everything was going wrong, right? Like literally everything. So just sit, you know, I was just sat and I was just like, okay, you know, like let's just reset this energy, you know, this energy that is not necessarily wanted, but it's here. Let's reset this energy and let's try to feel differently, you know, from inside out. And then things did change, right? They did change. So what it is that you want to birth by the springtime, when all these new planets, well, no new planets, but when the planets will be in these new signs, right? When this reality that we've been slowly but surely tapping into, you know, that's been downloaded into us, you know, these new timelines, this new way of being will come back, right? Come back, and they will come back to stay, right? I mean, okay, Saturn only stays in Aries for like 2.5 years, but you know, Neptune is like 12 years, right? And also Uranus will be in Aries for like 8 years. So, you know, this is a long time, you know, this is not like, okay, it's just 1 month or something, like, you know, Mercury or something, Venus. So these are longer transits, so they have a much deeper impact. And also Chiron will move into Taurus, that will be also for a while. So yeah, you know, just like with this one, what are we visioning? What are we visioning? What do we want to create on this earth through love, you know, through this open heart, through this sense of that I desire this, I want to experience this, not like, oh, I hate that, I don't want that, you know, because, you know, where your focus goes, energy flows, right? Something like that, the saying. So yeah, number 4, the new structure of reality you want to create, it's all in your emotion, it's all in your feelings. And here again, the 4 birds, the 4 sides, right? And the ancestors, and here again, bird, setting yourself free like a bird, because the reality that you want to experience exists, right? It's already out there in, you know, different timeline. It's all easier said than done, you know. It's not like I mastered that process, you know. Somewhere on the way, just like everyone, somewhere on the way, somewhere on our journey. But it's a continuum. Okay, I'm reaching out for the Oracle of Delphi, and then I have one more deck, and then we'll end with that. That will be the Sacred Destiny. So Oracle of Delphi, this is again one of my most favorite decks. Let's see what Oracle of Delphi. Many cards jump in. We have the Lovers, perfect, and we have the Musician and Mystic. Wow, a lot of Neptune again, Venus. Okay, what is the message for 2211? Okay, we have Jumper, the Artist, number 9, year number 9. This is the year when you create, right? With your eye, no eyes, no head, you know, like chopped off. Look, no brain. You see, it's about the connection. Look, the quartz, the Lemurian quartz. You know, we have to connect to things that are beyond this brain, right? This archive of the past, you know, fully programmed by the Piscean age. And again, water. Look, everywhere water, everywhere water, everywhere water, everywhere water, right? Water, a lot of water. This is the Jupiter in Cancer as the core rule of the North Node in Pisces, the flooding, right? The flooding, the water, the rainbow. Yeah, the artist. You are the artist. You know, the year number 9. This year is telling you, you know, number 9, again, associated with Mars, how Pluto acts consciously. This year number 9 was all about to show you what is no longer in alignment, right? Like these things, they are expired. They are expired. They have to end. That's it. You know, that this is no longer a way that we want to live. You know, like what it is in your life, what it is in my life, what is in everybody's life, what is in a collective consciousness, that we go like, I'm done. I don't want to live this way anymore. No thanks. You know, my ancestors lived this way. Why should I live this way? You know, they didn't die for nothing. You know, like every next generation comes on the shoulders of the previous generation. Like they propped you up, not for you to fall lower than they've been. So you are the artist. You are the creator of your life. And then the Lovers. Yeah, the Lovers wants to speak. It came out anyway. Lovers, just like these guys. Look at that. Lovers, and we know the Lovers is the Gemini, right? The Gemini, the choice. And as I said, the next lunation now, full moon in Gemini. So what got seeded for you in a Gemini season, right? That was when Saturn, I think it was the first lunation with Saturn in Aries. I'd have to double check, you know, I have to double check, but definitely, well, we know for sure Neptune was already in the sign of Aries. But yeah, new moon in Gemini, I have to check what exactly was going on back then. But look, full moon in Gemini, right? The timelines are becoming more present, especially with this fiery Sagittarius season. Things are moving quickly. This is a mutable season. Things are moving quickly. Things are changing quickly. And what is this? Water and lotus flowers, right? A lot of water, a lot of lotus flowers. Where else were the lotus? Oh, here. Through the muck, through the poop. Yeah, Scorpio season, a lot of poop came up. Right, so here we got it. The Lovers. Yeah. We have to feel the good, bad, the ugly, all of it. Yeah, feel it to heal it, but also feel it to create it, you know, consciously. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can find a booklet, you know, to get a little bit more info on this one. Oracle Delphi. All right, let's start with the Artist. And yeah, number 13. Number 13, the Death card, but also number 13 is the number 4. Which one was the number 4? We had so many cards in here. Oh yeah, that was this one. Yeah, number 4, number 4. Yeah, Saturn Day, number 4, Saturn. All right, so we have the Artist, number 9, that is the Mars. Mars, and number 9, Hermit, right? The answers can only be found within. All right. Just a sec. Here we go. Design your own reality. Step into the state of creative flow. It's time to start living the life you imagine. Wow, weren't all of the cards saying exactly the same thing? That's crazy. You are a visionary, the creator of your own magnificent masterpiece of life. You foresee your dream rolling out before you. Getting crystal clear on your vision and intention brings abundance and boosts your manifesting powers. Designing a dreamy life activates your imaginative, intuitive, and spirited essence. Come alive with creative purpose by embodying your artistry and living your dream life with contagious enthusiasm. Call on Apollo, the torchbearer. It's Apollo. Isn't that with Sun, right? Isn't he connected to Sun? Yeah, just like the first card, this one, the sunrise. Yeah. His penetrative gaze will highlight your artistic desire and vision. Showing gratitude for the beauty all around you will bring even more creative breakthroughs. As the Greek god of arts, Apollo, okay, he's the Greek god of arts, is guiding you to see and enjoy the sides of your creative journey. Playful curiosity will help you unearth your passion. Art and creativity come in many different forms. And then, okay, take note, you cannot fool the universe. Your wishful imaginings must be meaningful to you. Consider investigating a variety of channels. Stir your creative juices and awaken the artistic genius within. Okay. The Oracle's prophecy, creative and authentic self-expression, perfect. Spark your inner joy, chakra, third eye, creative imagination and visualization. Talisman, the blue morpho butterfly. Oh yeah, up here. Butterfly, the blue, oh, now my thing closed. The blue morpho butterfly. All right, it literally did close. Okay, let's see. Oracle of Delphi, come back. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to use the the Oracle of Delphi abandoned us. All right, let's see. Yeah, I just literally closed it. Yeah, so I wanted to show this one. Look, yeah, a lot of butterflies there too. So here are the butterflies to help us to transform and metamorphose into the true authentic expression of who we are, to create. Okay, so that was the musician, and here's the Apollo, the artist. Okay, it's also about the inner child. All right, so butterflies helps you to seek more meaning and beauty in your life. This winged spirit totem as also denotes honor and nobility. Conscious faith of in action step. Consciously create a life worth living. Make a list of elements that you wish to include in your best life, e.g. Fitness, quality friendship, time with family, etc. What small action can you take today to move in the direction of your dream life? I mean, come on. Alignment, activation, breathe and center yourself, affirm with meaning. I awaken my own artistic power. I create my inner and outer world with deliberate intention. Artist inside, dream your world into being. Invoke the creator within. Create a life you love. Here we go. Oh, sorry. This one. Mercury retrograde. All right, let's go to Lovers. And then we close with the Destiny, Sacred Destiny. Okay. Unite, desire, cherish, and caress. The chemistry of love cannot be explained, only felt with the heart. Love wraps its arms around you. Love is pure, unconditional acceptance. The starry eye Apollo. Here we go again. And Daphne signify that the flourishing love is coming for you. Sparks are flying. The attraction between you is electrifying. You are being called to fully embrace each other. Wholehearted love requires vulnerability and complete surrender. If you are in a relationship, this may mean a reawakening of your passion, or that a further commitment is unfolding for you both. The full moon amplifies your love and your ecstatic rapture even more. Your sacred union is infused with profound spiritual connection. True love evolves with deep commitment and care. This message may also signify that you cannot force a loving connection. It is not about you. If the stars are not aligning with current love interests, do not take it personally. Embody the loving qualities you want in your relationship. Self-devotion is a magnet for boundless passion, love, and spiritual union. Clarify how you want to feel in your relationships and only stay where you are valued, heard, seen, and respected. All right. The blue lotus is a mesmerizing art often referred to as dream flower. Okay, that's the one there in the water. In ancient Mediterranean and hallucinogenic essence of its leaves was known to be mind-expanding and an intoxicating fragrance as aphrodisiac. It was believed to tempt the state of intense longing for union with another. The spirit of the blue lotus heartens you to dream your beloved into existence. It all starts with self-love. If you can see love, feel love, know love, and be loved, then you can fully embrace love. The oracle's prophecy, intoxicating love is in the air. Chakra, heart, the vortex of multifaceted love. Talisman, the blue lotus denotes and the pursuit and attainment of euphoric love. As a natural aphrodisiac, it is said to connect one to the divine, induce higher states of love consciousness, and enhance desire, passion, and intimacy. Faith in action step. Cultivate deep self-love so that you have an abundant overflow of love to share with another. Stand in front of a mirror, look lovingly into your own eyes, and state out 3 things you love about yourself. Alignment activation. Lean into your heart and state, by your grace, I attune to the highest vibration of love. I embody the qualities I want to attract into my love life. Meaningful connections deepen my love quest. Art is inside, divine union, unity in sacred feminine and masculine, euphoric bliss. There we go. So it is all about co-creation, whether in romantic interest or, otherwise. But yeah, uniting to co-create together. The number 3. Unity. The number 3 is all about creation with, and I mean it is 13, 1 and the 3. 1 is the beginning, right? The magician, and the 3, well, technically 3 is the empress, co-creating new earth together, right? Through love, through open heart chakra, heart consciousness, the 11, 22, 33, perfect. Through creative art. Okay, final card, the sacred destiny. Okay, sacred destiny message for the 11, 22, 33. All right, there are 2. Healing, chaos, and wisdom. Wow, this one really reminds me of this one. The underwater realm. Look. Kind of similar, even though this one is going up and this one is going down, right? Wisdom, yes. Learning from our emotions. Deep waters, learning from our conscious. This to me is again about what did we learn in this Scorpio season in particular, going deep. Because astrology really is textbook right now. Everything that's going on in the sky, we feel very profoundly in our experience, and yet the healing chaos. Things are being stirred up in order for a new pattern to be created. Like things are being put in a fast spin. So, we know that where like tornado comes, like afterwards is the quiet and stillness. I thankfully have not experienced it myself, but afterwards it's like the complete stillness, right? Like when everything settles again. So yeah, to me it's like there is a lot of stuff that's being stirred up at the moment, and again I can attest from my personal experience that it just feels sometimes overwhelming, that there is so much happening all at once, so many things are like cliche, like next thing after next thing after next thing, because we really have to go deep this time. We are not scratching the surface for these patterns to be recreated and passed on to these next generations, like especially Pluto Capricorn and Aquarius. These kids, they didn't come here to carry on old karma, like no thanks. Some of the Pluto Sagittarius and early Pluto Capricorn perhaps, because they have the Sagittarius on the cusp, they might still have some of it, right? But these youngest children that are being born now, especially the Aquariuses, these are the first prototypes of the Aquarian age, but I really feel that we really have much more understanding of what Aquarian age is next time Pluto is in Aquarius. But these kids, they already have the codes, they already have the blueprints, so we really have to dig deep, to learn, wisdom, the applied knowledge, the applied information. What did we really learn, right? What did we really learn? Like I said, everything passing through a Sagittarius is going to square the lunar nodes. Mars is the first one now on Monday, and the resolution is a south node in Virgo, right, with Mercury at the time on Monday still retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, connected to Mars. So what did we learn, right? What did we learn? We don't want to keep recreating, passing on the same sorrow, the same grief, the same trauma. So the pattern has to change. And it's changing, but this huge chaos. And it's interesting, this green and pink, the heart chakra. Yeah, because like they say, the heart doesn't break close, it breaks open, right? Then it can close again because of the trauma, right? But it breaks open. So a lot of us are going through difficult, challenging situation, and we might feel it's too much, it's too much, because it's a complete like just transformation. It's a process of transmutation. We beyond just transformation. We are not changing a form, we are allowing the form to dissolve so the new form can be created, right? So things are coming apart, so they will then come together in a new way, a new expression, not the same way, not an improved version with the makeup on, no, a different expression, right? And for that we have to dig deep. And at the bottom, new beginnings. Well, isn't that a perfect card to end with? And that is literally like the card we began with. The sunrise, right? The sunrise, the new beginning. The sun will always rise, right? The heaven and earth connected. Infinity, right? Infinity. The continuous process of reincarnation, the new beginning. We are at the precipice. We are at the beginning of a brand, we are in a waiting station at the moment, especially with these anoretics that are happening today, 29 anaretic sun in Scorpio. But with the Sagittarius season, I truly feel that things will start moving very quickly, because then with Capricorn season, obviously a new season will begin, the final season of this astrological year, and then a new calendar year, Gregorian year, will begin. And then we'll have the year of the horse starting at the end of January in Aquarius season, right? We'll have the year of the fire horse, and horse is all about freedom, and it's unbound, right? It's unbound, it's free, and it's fire, the fire of creation. So there are new beginnings on the horizon for sure. And how are we going to create them? Through connecting with the heart, connecting with the things we love, connecting with our passion, but being grounded, by being really here, wanting to be here, visioning what world do you want to create. You don't like this world? Okay, well, that's fine, we don't have to like it. But we all have the opportunity to create our own microcosm. That's what we're here, for. We can create our own microcosm we will enjoy, so we can feel connected to this earth, to this beautiful planet that offers an opportunity to literally experience anything and everything. Everything is for grabbing here on planet Earth, everything. So why keep living and reliving a life that we don't really like? But it's like we have to crack the code, we have to crack the code, we have to remember. Oh wow, there is also a card, the end, the boatman, right? The boatman is taking us to the end of the road, right? But yeah, there's so many cards that are turning now, but it's this one. We are following the light, following the true authentic expression of who we are. It will guide us, our inner. Yeah, that's why this Scorpio new moon, there was this grand water trine, there was also the kite, the kites were present, but there was the opposition between Pluto and Jupiter, right? And the Uranus and the new moon, this opposition, the balance in the number 6, 33, tomorrow the number 6. Things do have to be balanced in order for this energy to be released, so it can become something new. And the guidance can only come from within, but we are distracted. We are distracted by this constant noise, drama, and always the old stories replaying themselves continuously. You know, it's just like, okay, how about this one? How about this one? How about this one? Like, no, this is where the Saturn, you know, the number 4 and the discipline. We have to be disciplined. I have to be disciplined. We all have to be disciplined to really, really focus. You know, really, really focus what it is. What is that world? What is that world that you want to create? The visioning, right? Be your own artist, right? Create with love, with the connection, with Mother Earth. You know, Mother Earth loves us unconditionally. I mean, you know, it's not like she's having a jolly good time with us right now with all this stuff that's going to open your heart. Perfect. Open your heart. Ideal course of action. Where is the Mother Earth one? Can't find it right now. Oh, here. Acceptance. Acceptance of love. Yeah, lovers. Yeah, this one. Open your heart. I mean, all the cards are saying the same thing. It's just so funny. You can use multiple decks and still get the same message. Yeah, the way forward is through the heart, heart-centered consciousness. We knew that all along, all year. And this is the year that really showed us that doing things the old way, the same way, ain't gonna work anymore. And we can't, with, you know, Jupiter now being in Cancer, we can't ignore it, that this is not working, this doesn't feel good, we can't ignore it anymore. So it's not working anymore, and we can't ignore these emotions anymore, you know, it's just overwhelming. What do we do? Something gonna give, something gonna change, right? And the change comes from within. The world is not gonna change for you. You have to change, and then the world around you will change, including the people. Same for me, same for everyone. Nobody's spared, you know. The universal laws are the same for everyone. So anyway, guys, interesting opportunities that we have with this technically sun on anaretic 0 degrees, right? Of Sagittarius, with this 22/11/22/33 day. We can create our own story. Yeah. Perfect. Look at that one. Make a wish. Number 1. This is just such a beautiful deck. It's so funny. You know, vision what you want to create. And here just, yeah, make a wish. Doesn't this look like some kind of like a cosmic creature, but connected to Earth, you know, like Mother Earth, like make a wish, you know, and look, fairies, like the elementals, yeah. Everything is to our disposal to help us to create, co-create together. So make a wish. What is your wish? What is the reality you wish to create? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave with that. Thank you again for listening, if you still are. And once again, if you wish to book any reading with me, then hop on my website. As of today, 22nd, all my services are discounted 33% off, and the sale will be on until Cyber Monday midnight on December 1st. So I look forward to connecting with you. I wishing you all a wonderful Sagittarius season, and yeah, many blessings to all. Enjoy today and the beautiful energies we have the opportunity to align with and tap into, and I'll speak to you again in the next video, whenever that is and whatever that is about. Much love to everyone, and bye for now.